Hi traders, how are we all doing? So we have about 3 minutes to the opening, and basically today we are also going to mostly maybe today we'll be observing. Basically today will likely just be observing what the market is doing, and we don't necessarily need to enter any trade today. So let me just send the invite to people on X. And we're going to be here for the next, let's say, 15 to 20 minutes, and we're going to call it a day. It's been an incredible week, and it's a good way to kind of end the week and go and refresh. All right, so first thing first, let's do the analysis before we talk about trading stuffs. You notice something, the NASDAQ today again has created a new all-time high. That happened today around 12 o'clock today. NASDAQ created a new high, and as I predicted yesterday, NASDAQ is going to reach the 27,200, and guess what? NASDAQ has reached the 27,200. So all the psychology levels are basically the next levels for NASDAQ to get to in terms of the next target for NASDAQ. So since NASDAQ already took this level, what do you think is the next level? 27,400. So 27,400 level is the next key psychology zone. Another one that you might potentially want to stay around is 27,003, but 27,400 is a little bit more, a juicy place to stay than 27,000. So anyway, we also set a high at 27.3 and 27.400. So there's a chance that NASDAQ can continue higher today and reach those levels. But we're going to know in the next 1 minute. The market is opening already. So honestly, you cannot trade right now. I mean, it doesn't mean you cannot trade, but for the best outcome, it's best that the price goes lower a little bit and give you an entry where you can be able to put your stop. Because if you want to buy, you need to put your stop loss, at least below the 50% range of the Asian range, right? So maybe the best thing is wait for price to maybe get somewhere here and then take a buy from there. If it starts to give you like a signal that okay, it's gonna reject, then you take a buy. But guys, the setup yesterday was amazing. Do you know what happened? So the yesterday opening, we took a buy, right, and we were targeting the Asian high, and guess what happened? Boom, the Asian high was taken out, and guess what happened? Immediately the Asian high was taken out, they sold. NASDAQ sold, take the previous day low. After taking the previous day low, another signal. I wasn't active yesterday like that after I left the live stream, but you see this NASDAQ moves, like if you just use this liquidity concept, you will start to make consistent profit, with NASDAQ. So all you just need to do, be able to mark your previous day high, your previous day low. They are very important levels. So me, I use PD. I'm also working on an indicator now that will automatically mark it for me. So before, I have an indicator that marks only the Asian range, but now I'm having another indicator that's going to mark both the Asian high, both the previous day high and the previous day low. I already have one, so let me see. It's not perfect yet. It's drawing a yellow line, but it's not yet perfect. So I'm gonna make the script a little bit more better, and once it's a little bit more better, then I can share it with you guys on the community. And you see how this is good. The the market is just, it's doing like awesome stuff. It's the previous day high, previous day low levels are like areas of liquidity to watch out for almost all the times. Asian high, Asian low, previous day high, previous day low. These two concepts has been making me trade NASDAQ in a much better way, and I think you can also start to do that for yourself as well, especially if you're trading out NASDAQ. So even if you're not trading NASDAQ, if you're trading other pair, you want to try and make sure that you also understand what are the ways that it actually moves. How does it respect a zone? How does it respect a level? Does it tap into it and then reject and then go all the way back to the opposite direction? So you want to also look at stuff like that over time and all. So let's check what the S&P 500 is doing. Okay, S&P 500 is back in the Asian range. US 30. Oh, okay. The US 30, we never use US 30 to, I never use US 30 to decide what NASDAQ might do because it's really not close at all. So, but what I can see right now is that the S&P 500 is bullish. Yes, of course, every pair is currently bullish, but it's currently back in that range. So that means that NASDAQ too can potentially reach back into this demand level. So if you really want to buy NASDAQ, you can wait for it to reach into this level, then take a buy so that the price can go back to the upside and all. But for now, you want to just hold on and do nothing. So let me give you a recap on the what happened in the week. So the first day of this week, which was Monday, I think Monday was the 20th, right? So Monday was 20th. Monday was 20th. So I had two trades this week, Monday and Tuesday, and since Wednesday I've not traded anything in the live account of this prop firm. The reason is because we already made profit. So next week is withdrawal day. I don't want nothing affecting that withdrawal. So I stopped trading the accounts, and you could feel like, oh wow, you could trade more and make more money, but the way to actually keep the money that you make is by knowing when to stop. And as a trader, you need to know when to stop. So in order for you to know when to stop, you need to have some kind of rules that you have predefined so that when it's time, you will be able to at least make the right decision. So with that said, we are going to talk about, I'm very likely not going to be trading this session, but if there's a signal, I'm going to call the signal so that we can all trade. I'm tempted to say we should buy from here where it is right now, but knowing that there's still first 15 minutes is just starting, so we may need to just allow the NASDAQ to reach into this level. So as soon as NASDAQ can reach into this Asian range, then we can start to take an entry. But for now, we just have to wait and see what it's doing. And during the day there will be three setups. Like what I've noticed most of the day is that there's usually three setups: a buy setup, a sell setup, and a buy setup. Especially now that market is trending, there's usually three setups every day. I only look to take two of those type of setups. The first setup I normally take is the opening range, the session, the beginning of the session itself. If price is in my area of interest, like yesterday when price was in an area that I was interested in, and I target that NASDAQ was going to go for the Asian high, and that was exactly what happened here. You see, yesterday this was this level. I took a buy from here to this point. This is 100 points. Guess what happened after? They reject and took the Asian low and also took the previous day low, and then they started trending. So this was three setups, which both setup are the three setup are actually in my type of setups I take, although I was only able to take only one because I was not active during the time the other ones were actually active. But I figure out that one of the way you can actually catch your setup, you can be setting alerts so that if price, like your key levels, you set alert so that if price gets there, at least you get an alert. So you could come to the chart and then you can look at what the price is doing around that. Then you can decide maybe you're entering or you're not entering. So anyway, in the future challenges, the challenge that's going to be starting next week is a $50,000 challenge. That's after the withdrawal. That's for the new month of May. So we're going to be trading the 50K prop firm account, phase 1 and phase 2, and also passing it to get payout. And after that, we're going to go to the 200K. After the 200K, we'll do max funding. We'll go to either 500K or $1 million straight up. So anyway, that's that. So while we're waiting for that, I want to talk with you guys about a few concepts that I think is really going to be very helpful in how everybody actually trades. So I'm just going to draw this line here, and I'm going to add a text inside it. So yeah, all that. Okay, so I posted this on the Telegram, but I just wanted to reiterate over it in this place because I feel like we can talk about it, and it's something that is really important. I know what's the number one thing. So the first thing I said about the for consistent profit, you want to make sure that you set a stop loss on Oh, someone missed all the three setups yesterday. Oh man, yeah, there were three setups yesterday, and it's crazy, man. Like I caught only one, during the session, and I totally missed the other two as well. And each one was at least 300 points. The two other setup that happened yesterday, you see, 200, almost 400 points each. 400 points to the downside, 400 points to the upside, and it was crazy. So, and you see, the setup is even very simple. You wait for a previous day low or Asian low to be taken, and then you wait to see rejection. Once it's rejecting, you buy, and then you put your stop at the rejection candle, and then you just leave it to keep going. The same thing at the top as well. So if you see, like um for the high as well, you see when they took the Asian high, they took the Asian high over here, took the Asian high and the previous day high, and they start rejecting, right? So as soon as you see the rejection happening, that's like a setup. Just sell, put your stop loss at the top, target the next zone, or wherever your profit is enough, and then and all. Anyway, yeah, it's true, man. I missed two of that setup yesterday, so it was okay. Anyway, next week is there. We're gonna see more setups actually. Um, so it's very likely that the way the current market pricing is doing right now, so it's very likely that nothing is gonna happen within the next 30 minutes until the lunch break. So there's usually a lunch break after the first 2.5 hours in US. So we will just wait and so most likely today we'll be seeing serious move on the NASDAQ until the next 2 to 3 hours before we see good move. Now, I want to talk about, like just 4 tips that I think is going to make a difference for everybody. For every, like I said, like, for every trade that you're entering, make sure there's a stop loss. Like stop loss is so important. When I started trading, there were times that I funded, because I was working as a software engineer, right? So let's say I found $1,000 in a live account or direct brokerage, not even prop firm. I funded $1,000 account, bro. I entered a trade and I was using like maybe one lot. I was trading gold then, and I entered one lot and it was against me. Like the market was moving against me, and I removed the stop loss. So I was seeing minus $300, minus 400, minus 500, minus 600, bro. Until I see like I blew $1,000 like unnecessarily. So, but afterwards, I've learned the hard way that, I need to already know my stop loss. Like, especially now that I started trading prop firm, I always use stop loss. Like, it's very important to use stop loss. You just have to accept the only thing about stop loss is that you want to make sure that where you put the stop loss, the way you calculate the stop loss, that if it hits the stop loss, that means that you are wrong about the direction of the market. Yeah, that means you're wrong. So what you want to do is put the stop loss at the exact place that it's supposed to be. So, and usually you use a zone for the stop loss. So don't just put the stop loss like in a random place that price can just eat it anyhow. You want to put it in the invalidation zone. So when you are doing your analysis, like now, if you see the chart that I'm showing you right now, if let's say NASDAQ pullback and you take a trade, you put it at the nearest zone here, this zone. This level is the best zone for stop loss right now. However, it doesn't mean that NASDAQ cannot go and take the Asian low, but at least this is a zone like a higher low that you can actually put a stop, because if they take it, that means they want to keep going to the downside, right? So that means you're wrong. So, and that means that for you to set your stop loss correctly, you need to also size up your position correctly. So position sizing is like how many lot size do you use when you're entering your trade, right? So, and if you don't currently know what a lot size means, let's say you are new to trading, lot size is basically saying how much of the position you want to buy. It's just like if you want to go to the market and you want to buy like pepper, you want to tell them, oh, I want to buy like 500 tomatoes or 1,000 tomatoes. So it's the same thing when you're trading. You want to tell the market, okay, I want to buy one contract or one lot of this particular pair, and you put it there. Okay, and the amount of contracts you actually put in determines how much money you will lose or you will make, right, when it's going in your direction or against you. So you want to make sure you do that. The second thing, guys, is when you're in a trade, and this one I also learned this very seriously. When you've entered a trade, let's say you entered one lot size trade, or maybe 0.1 trade or 0.5 trade, or maybe even 0.05 or whatever lot size you're using. Once you've entered it, like you've already defined your risk as, let's say your risk is $50 and you have entered the trade, you have set your stop loss. Do not add more trades. Like, just wait for that trade to finish. If it takes 10 hours, if it takes 2 days, do not add more to that position. Although later on as you progress in trading, you might decide that that account is now already let's say the trade is already protected. Maybe you have set break even and you are ready to add another trade. But I would just really recommend that you don't add to more trade. If it's still one single setup, I'll just say that you don't add more to that trade, unless you did a second setup and that setup is already in profit and you have protected it. I think that time it makes sense to actually add another trade while that one is still running, especially if you want to swing it and it's not in loss. That makes sense. But in no circumstance, once you've entered a trade, don't scale in your entries again. Just enter one and go, unless you are flipping. But if you're really like trading prop firm, just enter one entry and leave it, let it go. And in fact, most prop firm, like the one I'm trading with Equity Edge, they don't want you to spam the order book. If you enter entries more than one, they might flag your account because they see it as spamming the order book. So that even automatically enforces that you don't enter position more than one. Just enter your, if you want to enter 5 lots, if you want to enter 1 lot, don't break it into 0.5, then wait to see the reaction of the market before you enter the 0.5 again. Just enter your position and go. But some people do dollar cost averaging, but I wouldn't say you should do that, honestly. And protect your profits once price move 50% in your direction. So this is something I started doing recently. As soon as I enter a trade and it has broken a structure in my direction, I go break even. Or as soon as it has moved like 50% in my direction, I consider going break even. Now, if it has not broken a structure, if I see a pullback, that's the only time I use my logic, like, okay, you know what, let me just remove back my break even, because they have not broken a structure. There's a chance that they come back before they break a structure. And that happens yesterday, I tell you. So yesterday, as soon as price was moving in my direction, in fact, it has hit a 100 points full TP, but the spread did not close my trade. So I couldn't close the profit I made yesterday. And I said break even already. It came, take me out of break even, and then went back to take profits before selling, right? And that's crazy, but that's also a way to protect your profits. If you don't make money that day, as long as you don't lose money, you come back the next day and you do it again. So the first 15 minutes candle just finished. It's an indecision candle. So that means that there is a struggle for NASDAQ. NASDAQ is struggling right now to go up or to go down. So what that tells you is that NASDAQ is waiting for volume. That means investors are repositioning. NASDAQ, it just created a high today, a new high, and there's now a pullback already. So there's a chance that price needs to reach into fair value levels. And there are 2 fair value levels right now, meaning the fair value level just means that, is this price low enough for us to continue buying? So sellers might be interested right now in this market than buyers, because we've just created a new high and the pullback just started. So you want to check your areas of fair value gaps. And if you look at it on 30 minutes, this is the best level for your fair value gap right now. This level right here, these levels, anywhere from this level to this level, that's like, option number 1. Option number 2 is below the Asian low, or below the Asian low. Although for me today, honestly, I will not trade anything again today. I'll just wait till next week. And here, yeah, like these 2 levels are like the best 2 places to kind of like wait for NASDAQ to reach before waiting for buy signal. If you see a buy signal in any of those 2 places, it's actually good to take it. And otherwise, just wait until next week and take trades next week. By the way, if you are still trading your prop, we can do like a master class, to set up like a plan. If you're interested, actually, I'm thinking we should do it this weekend. If you're currently trading your own prop firm account, let's say you're trading a 5K, 10K account as well, and you have not passed or you're trying to pass, I'm actually, this weekend we might do a like a call just to explain, a plan, how many trades that you might potentially need. Because sometimes when you know exactly how many trades that you need to pass your account, you don't tend to take trade carefully. You don't just want to take any out trade. You want to be very careful about the ones that you're actually going to take. And when the moment I start to know that, okay, wait, my setup, I used to use 100-point stop loss, and that means that if I use 1% risk, I'll make 2% profit. But if I use 2% risk, I'll make 4% profit. So on challenge phase, most of the time I use 2% risk on every trade, and then I'll make like 4%. Sometimes I make 6% in one single trade. So that means that I can take 3 trades and I'll pass the account. So I can even take just 2 trades and I'll pass the account. So, and it's because I'm actually risking 2% on a trade. And I also have a hard stop. If I lose that 2% at the end of the day, I don't trade again, because now I don't want to breach the daily loss limit. Some prop firm have a 3% daily loss limit or a 4% daily loss limit. I prefer the accounts that give me like 5% daily loss limit, but I will not lose more than 2% for me. So, and I think we can actually do it in the weekend. If anybody's interested, I'm gonna post it on the Telegram. If you're interested, just DM me on Telegram. I'm gonna put my DM handle in the post, so you can reach out to me and we can set up a time for you, a slot, and then we discuss a plan. We just do a review of your own account, because if you can also have an account, because we're going to be starting a new challenge in May, second week of May, not next week, the week after, because the payout is going to come on Friday, and then so Monday we're going to start the new challenge. So we can start together with your new account, or and then you can also get to pass it, and let's do it together. You can simply even take the same trade I'm taking on the live stream. All the trade I am entering them on the live, and anytime I enter a trade outside of the live stream, I post it on the Telegram so that you can potentially take advantage of it. All right, with that said, guys, thank you so much. I think it's been an amazing week, and I'm actually excited that we're making progress on the channel or in the community itself. Don't forget that my goal eventually is to have a live trading room, a physical trading room that everybody can come together, we can trade in one single room and all. There is a trading as a community gives a lot of advantage, so that's my goal, so that we can use that little advantage to ourselves. Like, imagine someone is like, oh, I'm looking at buying the NASDAQ, and somebody else is like, oh, I want to sell. Then maybe both of us want to be very careful that, oh, okay, wait, it might be true, so we look at what information is out there on the chart that is supporting any of the decision, and then we take the best decision. And also, if somebody takes a loss within a community, it's easier to share that, oh guys, I just take a loss. You feel better. At least you don't tend to overtrade, because you have your community. Your community is there to help you, to just speak with you in a way, which is really cool. So all right, guys, happy and safe trading. Have an amazing week. We are going to see each other again next week. Thank you for this beautiful week. I think we had an amazing one, and I'll see you again next week. We're gonna trade again. We're gonna trade live and all. So I'm gonna leave you here. I'm not going to be monitoring the charts, but if you do want to trade today, I would say that wait for price to really pull back into the Asian range, and maybe give you like a formation that it's gonna go, that you can take the trade from there. Happy and safe trading, guys. Thank you, and see you again next week.